Yes, yes, yes. Good morning. Shout out to the stream team. It's the weekend shift. Super early here on a Sunday. Bottom of the hour, I dropped on you. And a couple of you were confused. Never heard bottom of the hour? Come on. That's the 30. This is a very early one here because I got things to do. I got thoughts on Saturday's games. All four of them, we'll touch on them as we'll make our way through both two of the Western Conference games, two of the Eastern Conference games. Pretty good slate of games. Some close finishes. Some teams sort of back into their series. I created the whole thumbnail around the concept of the redemption tour for a lot of people yesterday, I thought, on Saturday. Towns, Gobert, Siakam. Durant and Kyrie, not so much. Yeah, not so much a part of that tour. They're sitting that one out as the Celtics take a 3-0 lead. But take a second, like the video, and subscribe to No Dunks here on YouTube while I take a sip of this coffee. Because it's early. But I wake up early. The older you get, the earlier you wake up. Kids or no kids. I don't have kids, but I'm just like up at 6:30 every morning now. And it's sucks because you're not getting a lot of sleep, but it's sort of great because you get a lot of stuff done. Like as soon as I'm done this, I'll be walking the dog. I got to put the back porch back together. Did power wash that yesterday. Got that done after yesterday's weekend shift. So just got to put things back onto it. And then we'll tackle our day and watch some more basketball. 4 more games on today. 40 games in 40 nights. If you're new to the weekend shift, though, this is me just jumping on here, giving my thoughts on the games, obviously from yesterday, because the whole concept is like there's so much action on this weekend. If you leave it all until Monday's show, you don't remember half of it. It feels stale. So, we'll do this to try and get our followers up. So subscribe and like the video here. Should we just jump right into it? Why not? Where do you want to start? Do we start in the West? Let's start in the West. Let's start with Karl Anthony Towns. Bouncing back there. 33 points, 14 boards. I guess he joined Kevin Garnett as the only Timberwolves players to record a 30-10 playoff game. That's sort of wild. Though I did see Chris Finch, Wolves coach, all time on the coaching playoff wins. He's already up to second with 2. Past Tibbs, who had 1. And then chasing down, who are they chasing down? Flip Saunders, of course, who has a lot more than those guys. Anyway, I thought he was great. Cat was after some rough games there. Good in game 1, really bad in games 2 and 3. More turnovers and more fouls generally than shots and getting involved in the action. But here he was doing a bit of everything, right? He was working in the pick and roll. He was driving as an isolation scorer. He even, came off some screens and knocked down threes. But he really just lived at the line. 14 to 17 free throw attempts in another very poorly officiated game. What's going on in these playoffs? I know Hollinger has a great article up on The Athletic. Go to theathletic.com/nodunks if you want to get a subscription. $1 a month right now. Talking about how many fouls are being called. What happened to this whole concept of the whistles go away in the playoffs. They let them play. It gets physical. It's the opposite. They are calling these games like preseason games. I don't know what's going on, a majority of them at least, where it's just whistle, 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 whistle. And it's it's making some of the games next to unwatchable. But anyway, Cat gets there. He put pressure on the Grizz. He put pressure on the officials to make these calls. But he hit 14 to 17 there. And it was nice to see him coming through late too. These weren't sort of just sort of a bunch of first half points, and then sort of he faltered as the game went on. 13 points in the fourth quarter, and he had the 2 game-clinching free throws with 4.5 seconds left. Asked about what he was thinking about at the line. I think he said he was thinking about what he was going to eat. That's me anytime I'm running. I get out there, and all I'm thinking about is food. I can't wait to get back and eat. That's all that goes through my head. What am I going to order? That'll be fun. Wouldn't mind ordering some Thai food when I get home later. So I guess Cat does the same. Also, big games from Anthony Edwards. The Wolves' chances of winning are obviously huge when their 2 stars can get it going on the same night. I thought he was great. 24 points, 4 of 8 from deep. But he also, again, this guy is playing some defense. I love to see this from Ant. And then Jordan McLaughlin. the big unsung hero with the 4 threes in 14 minutes. And he had that big one when the Grizzlies had cut the lead to 5, I think it was, late. He splashed that. So that was huge. Back to the officiating, though. Taylor Jenkins, getting a lot of the headlines after this one. Had some fire quotes, if we're being honest. We got to play better, he said. But, there's the but, in my opinion, this was one of the most poorly officiated games I've ever seen in my NBA career. He went on to say, and this is the real money line to me, I've never seen a more inconsistent and arrogant officiated game. You don't see the word arrogant slapped on the officials very often, but yes. The whistle was favoring the Wolves in game 4. 33 personal fouls, I think, on Memphis. And they were talking about like our starters. Everybody was going to foul out on our starters for Memphis there. So it's been bad. I mean, overall, this has not been a great postseason so far for the officials. Let's hope they get this shit taken care of because we're only in the first round. Imagine when these games get into like conference finals and finals. If this is still a glaring issue, it'll be brutal for the league. It'd be nice to see these guys. Let them play a little bit more. Let them play with some contact. You don't got to call a damn whistle on everything. So anyway, I highly recommend you go check out that article from Hollinger. Because it was funny. I was going to tweet something about this a couple days ago. Like the idea of like, why are we calling games like it is the preseason or it's the first week of the season? Like, what is going on here? What happened to that whole saying about like, they swallow the whistles in the postseason? I was going to, and I didn't. And then I was like, and then I did the whole thing like, maybe it's just me. Am I in my head? Maybe the data doesn't back it up that there's more calls being whistled and stuff like that here in the playoffs. But Hollinger, his deep dive showed that, nope, there is. So there is something going on here. I guess Jenkins will be getting fined for his comments. I mean, again, the arrogant. Whew, I love that. But I think does Brooks want to pay it? Maybe John Morant said he wants to pay it too. That'd be great if they did that. Just went around the locker room, like a little collection plate. It is Sunday here, right? Hey, Jenkins is going to get $25K. What can you throw in? What do you got? Just pass the plate around. Be interesting to see which players don't chip in. If you didn't play in the game, are you really feeling like you need to throw in $1,000? Probably not. I don't think so. I wish we could see that, though. Get a camera on that. Just this series now 2-2. I don't think that's all that shocking, especially when there was protesters again. The Wolves can't lose when protesters are in play. What do we have? The woman just getting out onto the court. She was off in a hurry. And then the other one behind, Taylor and stuff like that. Not much coming of that, but they can't lose when the protesters show up. We were joking about the Hawks and the conspiracy, how they had a train for the play-in game delay the Hornets, and they had the suspicious package, the game I was at on Friday night, delay the game. Oh, they get the win. We were having fun. We were poking fun at the idea that was a damn conspiracy. But I'll tell you what, man, you jump on Twitter, and I don't know why, I wake up in the morning and I'm looking at it on my phone, and it's like, well, there's people that really, really, truly believe there's like a big conspiracy here with the protesters helping Minnesota Timberwolves. Like, truthfully, it's a basic. I don't think that's the case, but they're still getting their eyeballs and people talking about Glenn Taylor and his chicken farm. So, hey, good on them. Okay, that's what I have on that game. Let's go to the other Western Conference game. Jazz beating the Mavs. Tied that series up. So both of those series, 2-2, which is really fun. It's down to a best of 3. That means we get some pivotal game 5s, guys. That's just the way it goes. 2-2, pivotal game 5. But Luka comes back, and the Jazz spoil that return. Gobert with the game-winning dunk. Way to pass him the ball, Donovan. Look at that. So good. Gobert was pretty solid, besides missing free throw after free throw. 17 points, and he just caused havoc on the offensive glass. 10 offensive rebounds. Massive. And that played a huge part in the Jazz winning the second chance points. In a close game, 22-12. That's going to be a difference maker. I thought Jordan Clarkson Picked a great time to show up in the playoff series. Team high 25 points off the bench. Looked a lot more in control. Was obviously just hitting shots. That's what he's out there to do. Great timing. So that was good. And then, yeah, they spoil Luka's return. And it's all classic, hindsight 2020. We were shocked, if you remember, that he played in game 4. I think when the Mavs took the 2-1 lead, the way they'd been playing, the way that ball had been moving, the way Brunson had been coming through, I was like, just let them play game 4 again. Let Luka sit one more. Kid and that team elect to play Luka. He looks solid. 30 points, 10 boards, 4 assists, 11 to 21 shooting. Played 34 minutes. That's maybe more minutes than maybe they had in mind at first, but close game. He looked good. Had maybe appeared to be the biggest shot of the night. Hits that step back 3, which he hit over Gobert, if I remember correctly, with about 40 seconds to go. Mavs go up by 4. But I think Jack Maloney, it was at CBS, had an interesting point. Like Luka's presence created some interesting dynamics, is the way I think Jack put it. Because to some extent, the Jazz defenders, they're more comfortable with like the slow probing Luka instead of, your sort of Brunson and Dinwiddie, like quick drives and 5 guys out and all of that. And then on the other end too, they could like go at Luka a little bit more. He's not the greatest defender, and coming back from the injury, he's a little slower. So I think they were targeting him. So it's, you want Luka back. He's your superstar. He hits the huge shot. Again, great line. They nearly pull it off with him, but they don't. And it's something to watch here, because it was Brunson's, quote unquote, sort of worst game in a while. I think he still finished with 23, so it's not bad. But yeah, it's a fascinating thing here. I'm just surprised he played in game 4 after they won game 3. I was like, man, let them go. Let them run. But instead, Jazz pull it off, and Mitchell had that huge offensive board and the N1. I always find plays like that so funny because you do the whole like butterfly effect. It's like the Mavs they're better off if he actually just scores the basket. But no, gets the rebound, then gets fouled and hits the free throw. So the Jazz are alive. It's 2-2. I still think this one's going 7. I had Mavs in 7 to start the series. So they'd have to win. They'd be at home. I keep thinking it's a Utah advantage, but yeah. So I got Mavs in 7. Game 5, pivotal. Yeah, people are pointing on the stream team. Did the Mavs make a mistake bringing him back? Well, it's easy to say yes for after one game. I guess they did because they lost, but it's also this thing like maybe Luka looks even better in game 5, which is pivotal. Because he's got some reps, got 30 minutes in him. Well, I don't know. We'll see. I do think him being out there in the way he plays actually favors the Jazz and what they want to do defensively. So we'll see. That's all I got on that one, though. Good win. It was nice to see the feel-good moment between Mitchell and Gobert. Everybody pointing out how, they definitely probably sat down and had dinner at the same table last night, which is great. And hilarious Gobert post-game interview there, too. Love it. Love Series 2-2. Fantastic. Okay, let's go to the East. And if you're just joining us, like the video, subscribe to No Dunks on YouTube. That's the whole point of this. Let's start with the Raptors, baby. We're still alive. Raps at 7. Technically still possible. But Spicy P, awesome. Playoff career high, 34 points in game 4 there in Toronto. That's more than he had scored in his previous 2 games combined. So he obviously was popping off. He, like Cat, lived at the free throw line. He was aggressive. 13 of 15. He knocked down at 8 boards, 5 assists, 2 blocks, a steal in 44 minutes of action. So when Van Vliet goes down with the injury too, it was like, you got to carry us. Like you got to basically, for the most part, initiate a lot of the offense. And he stepped up. That was big after a brutal game 3, as we talked about, where he just, especially in the second half, that jumper, the space that the Sixers give him, they back up. Hey, we don't want you spinning left and right on us. We're just going to back up so you can't spin or you're going to spin on nobody. and let you take that jumper. And he couldn't hit in game 3, but he was definitely felt more comfortable there in game 4, even knocking down a side jumper, which he almost rarely does. It's always in the middle of the floor. But he looked awesome. And the Raps played like a desperate team, for sure. They forced 16 Philly turnovers. They scored 21 fast break points. They out-rebounded the Sixers. They scored more points in the paint. Like, check. You know, Embiid is hampered by this thumb injury. He had his worst game, really. 21 points, 7 to 16 shooting, just 8 rebounds. He turned the ball over 5 times. And, you know, it's definitely affecting him, this thumb. He's always reaching on it. He's got this big brace. He was frustrated with the whistle. He's given the golf sarcastic clap at the end. Like, okay, which it makes everybody like roll their eyes a little bit. It's like, Joel, I mean, you live at the free throw line, man. You're on the ground every third possession. I get it. It didn't go your way, this one, but that's a little much. Like seeking them out to, oh, good job. Okay. Okay, man. But Raps are alive, and they're going to win this in 7, and it's going to be incredible. People saying gentleman's sweep. Yeah, we're set up for either that or the Raps coming back in 7, which will be, I can't wait. Thaddeus Young, though, awesome. He needs to play more in game 5 in Philly. 13 points, 5 boards, 5 assists, 3 steals, and a block for him. He spent more time on Embiid than he has at any point in the series. That's good. He, in the second quarter especially, and this was funny, I didn't tweet this, I was sharing it in a WhatsApp group for must have been game 2 or 3, where we're talking about the Raptors and losing at that point to the Sixers. And the Sixers were throwing out some zone. And I said, stick Thad in the middle. Thad can destroy a zone. He's such a great playmaker. He's obviously, he can still score. He's a vet. He's seen it all. And, it didn't really come to fruition then when I was texting it a couple games ago, but I was happy to see it here. Little 2-3 zone action from the Sixers. Get Thad in the middle. Let him break that crap. And he was a big part of that second quarter run. So that was awesome. Boucher's continuing to play well for the Raptors. He's been amazing. And then Gary Trent Jr. again, scoring. They need the scoring because the Raps, especially when Van Vliet is out, just need somebody to be able to hit a shot. So here we go. 3-1. Barnes back. That was nice. Didn't have a monster. Well, he did great work on the boards. I thought his defense was amazing. Didn't do a whole lot offensively, but that's fine. We'll take the defense right now, and just like ending possessions is always nice too, getting that defensive rebound. Congrats to him on winning Rookie of the Year. Got to be honest, I was shocked. Couldn't believe it that he pulled it out in the end. Close vote over Mobley. Is it true somebody left Mobley off their ballot entirely, though? Did we ever? I mean, I saw that come through on Twitter, and then I was like, I saw that and I was like, okay, is that true? That's stupid if it is. But I didn't do a deep dive onto like who the hell it was. Do we know that yet? Like, was it an error? That's insane. The good thing is, I say good things, Cavs fans aren't going to want to hear it, but at least it didn't decide like Mobley winning or losing it. Even if he had gotten that person's vote, be it, a second, third, whatever, I don't think it would have been enough. But that was crazy that he was off it entirely. It has to be an error, right? Like, is it just like someone had a brain fart? Like, oh crap, my Rookie of the Year ballot is due. Barnes, Cade, Franz. And they just forget. Fascinating. I did see somebody had Jalen Green second on their ballot. That's a reach. Yeah, it's a reach. But tight. Barnes wins it. And what have they done to these awards? The actual awards they're giving them. Why have they made them all generic as fuck and they look boring? A crystal ball or whatever it is? Ugh. I said this, if you remember, when there was like news breaking about these new trophies, like, they're going to just all be the same. They look horrible. There was nothing wrong with the majority of them, at least. Like the Defensive Player of the Year one was amazing. The guy like in the defensive stance looked cool. Now it's like a ball. If I remember correctly, the photo with Marcus Smart, they got him. Oh, here, let me hold this weird globe up. Let me see the future in this weird crystal ball thing. Ugh. They look brutal. They're too small, too. They're like this big. What type of ball? It's not even a basketball size. At least do that. Go, you know what they should do? You know that diamond encrusted like 75th anniversary ball they keep handing to every celebrity in attendance to take a photo with? At least go with that. Something like that. It's an actual size of a basketball and it's got a little more bling to it. These glass things, cheap looking. Come on, NBA. Terribly disappointing. And there was no reason to do it, too. There was nothing wrong with the majority of them, at least. The Rookie of the Year one was totally fine, whatever. The Defensive Player of the Year, like I said, great. Like, are they doing this with the MVP one? No. If Jokic or Embiid, whoever ends up winning MVP, gets handed the tiny little ball, ugh. Anyway, final game. And like I said, no redemption tour for KD and Kyrie. In fact, it just got worse and worse. Tatum and Brown lead the Celtics to the 109-103 victory and the 3-0 lead over the Brooklyn Nets. I can't believe this. Look, we knew Boston was good. They've been amazing. And the Nets had their chances, especially in game one, obviously. Even game two, they're in it. In this one, they're in it. But the problem is, anytime the Nets make a run, they just can't stop them. And this game to me, I mean, I said it out loud to Nora watching this game with me. I said, well, this one's over. They're taking the 3-0 lead. It was in the third quarter because Boston's leading the game, good chunk of it, as they have for most of the series. The Nets cut it to 3, though. They make a nice little run. I think Patty Mills hit a 3. Timeout. Great timeout, Udoka. Hey, other NBA coaches, take note of that timeout. Maybe when the other team's going on a bit of a run, call a timeout. It sometimes works. So he calls a timeout. But it's a 3-point game as we get nearing to the end of the third quarter, almost getting into the fourth. And, the Nets are going to be happy if they can finish this quarter. It's a one possession game, whatever. And the opposite happens. Marcus Smart scores off an offensive rebound. Marcus Smart then makes a jumper in transition. I think if I have that right, I know he hit a jumper. And then brutal pass. I think it was Blake, Jaylen Brown, steal, dunk. And it's 81-72. All that work they did just to get back in the game, it's gone. Totally gone. And then even I think the Nets made another little run. They just can't get stops. And look, I'm not saying it's easy to stop Tatum and Brown, but there needs to be some defensive intensity. And they're searching for it from Blake Griffin, for crying out loud. His first game since April 2nd, he gave them a lift, no doubt. 8 points, couple hustle plays in limited minutes, but he also gave it all back. They were targeting him, and I'm not even knocking him, but it's oh my God, if you are turning to Blake Griffin to save the season, and why isn't Ben Simmons playing? I'll say this again, is he going to go in game 4? So stupid. If he plays in game 4, it's insane to me that he didn't play in game 3. Insane. But who knows at this point if they'll even play him. And I think we're seeing the end of Steve Nash's coaching career. I don't think he's going to be long for this career. He looks so miserable and so unhappy. And he's, look, I don't think he's proving to be an elite NBA mind right now. He seems flustered. And again, the Celtics are doing an incredible job of that. But I just how can Steve Nash think I want to do this for another 20 years? There's no way, right? He's when this is done, this will be the end of Steve Nash coaching, in my opinion. Unless it's that competitive spirit in former superstars and players that you always hear about. I don't know. You just go back to broadcasting, Steve, or do something else, because this doesn't look fun. But man, I just can't believe this is a 3-0 series. That's the shocking part. Durant only taking 11 shots. Celtics all over him. Tatum is the one guy, it turns out, that can block his jumper. I know he got called for the foul there. That's basically a block. This is wild. Only 16 for KD. 8 rebounds, 8 assists, but he had the turnovers there again. And then Kyrie, 6 of 17. He missed all 7 of his threes. He only had 16. I mean, when Bruce Brown is their leader and Blake Griffin is they're hoping is their savior. I mean, wow, things have gone sour. But the Celtics just forcing turnover after turnover after turnover. The defense is elite, and man, the Nets make it easy at times. There is some sloppy passing. But 21 turnovers leading to 37 points. Good luck winning games like that. Tatum at 6. of the Celtics, 13 steals. Fantastic. Incredible win. I loved just their body language, Boston. Like when the Nets made it close, the answer from usually Tatum, Brown, or Smart, and just like the FU attitude of like, no, that we are ending this series. And I keep joking the Raptors are coming back from 3-0 because they are, but the Nets, they are not. And Boston knows it. And will this be a classic gentleman's sweep? Will Ben Simmons save the day and completely turn the series on its head? Looking doubtful. Boston, you're thinking Boston is winning this in 4 or 5 games because Brooklyn can't stop them. And it turns out the star players right now in Boston are playing much better than the two on the Brooklyn Nets. Crazy that it's a 3-0 series. But shout out to the Beantown boys. That's all I got, guys. Let's hear from you. I'll give you a second if you have any comments about any of those games. How long we going here on the weekend shift? 25 minutes. Look at that. Threw them in there pretty quick. I thought they were pretty entertaining games, though. Again, I love having Series 2-2 and a little, shocked, of course. I love the Raptors surviving. I was happy about that to start a Saturday. And then I guess, the biggest surprise is just Brooklyn being down 3-0. And the Time Lord is back. Good point. Didn't have to do a lot, didn't do a lot. I mean, again, I it's amazing that Blake Griffin is like, and then Kyrie's comments after the game, basically like handing Nash another L. Like, oh yeah, you should be playing more. Oh, Jesus. You're one to say somebody should be playing more, Kyrie. Oh, incredible. Yeah, Dave, good point. We do need to wrap this up soon. We got an F1 race starting. No, I'm going to go walk the dog. I am a casual F1 fan. My wife, diehard, loves it. Like she's in the other room. She's ready to go. But I'm going to go walk the dog, get outside. Good luck to the Chicago Bulls here. I don't have the schedule. I usually show you guys a schedule, but NBA.com, or excuse me, NBA Twitter, they usually have that nice little graphic. When I was getting ready, because I started so earlier, they didn't have it. I'm ahead of the NBA Twitter account this morning. Who's going to win today's games? Asked Anthony. I don't know if Trey is attending game 4. I've yet to find out if he's actually, I think he has a late night flight back from Chicago to Atlanta here. So it's a 1:00 start. So in theory, he could, though he was showing us in a Slack channel that the standing room only tickets in Chicago were not cheap. So I don't know if he's going to be there. All that's to say, put me down for the Bucks. I mean, I had Bucks in 5, so I'll stick with my pre-series prediction with that. Who else is playing? I'm just looking up at the schedule right now. So that's the first game. I know that. Oh, then we got Warriors Nuggets. That's a wrap. Put me down for a Warriors sweep. That was the one that I said I wanted a series mulligan on after the first game because I had Warriors in 6. But on that Monday show, when we asked the question, of any of your predictions, which one do you wish you could change right now? I said that one. I said this is going to be a sweep. So I'll go with that. Heat Hawks here. I got to decide if I'm going to that game here in Atlanta. I keep forgetting that one's tonight. Game 4. Can the Hawks tie it up? Lowry's day-to-day, I think, last I saw. That's going to be tough. The Heat missed a lot of shots. A lot of threes that were pretty good looks. But give me the Hawks, guys, to tie it up. I don't know. That's a tough one. That's my heart saying Hawks will win tonight, but I think my head says the Heat will take care of that. But give me Hawks to make that a 2-2 series. And then Suns Pelicans. Ooh, can't believe this. I'm leaning towards New Orleans, which seems a little weird because I had Suns in 5. Nah, let me go with my series. I'll go Suns. I'll go in another close game. DeAndre Ayton, I said on yesterday's weekend shift was pretty impressive. I think he's gonna have another great game. And Chris Paul, are we gonna have the good Chris Paul, bad Chris Paul, good Chris Paul, bad Chris Paul? Well, would we be due for that? I guess if that pattern continues. But put me down for the Suns. All right, formation lap is starting for all you No Breaks fans. I think Trey and Graydon will be back this week. Well, they will be with a new No Breaks. So if you're an F1 fan, seek out that YouTube channel, seek out that podcast. But let's call it there, guys. I will remind you, while I have your attention, to go grab some new No Dunk shirts. Ho, yeah. Throwbacks, baby. Those are available over at nodunks.com. You can get all your No Dunks merch over there. Some TBJ and starters inspired t-shirts there. So go check that out. And you see it there on your screen. If you want to get all 3 of those ones, you can get a little deal. You buy 2, get 1 free if you use that code NODUNKS3 at checkout. Otherwise, guys, have a great day. Hey, this worked, by the way. It's me, Waluigi. So hopefully it works again. Guys, thank you so much for joining me here on the weekend shift. These are a lot of fun. I'm happy I got this one in early. We'll be back tomorrow. Well, you never know. It might be back later today if we get a banger of a game with one of these and we just got to jump on and immediately react. But if we're not, we'll be back tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern. I think the plan is to be back in the Classic Factory. I believe JD and his family have exited health and safety protocols. I think COVID has run its course over there. Everybody's fine. And I think we'll be good to all go back to the Classic Factory tomorrow. So Monday, 10 a.m. Eastern, live here on YouTube. And those will be obviously flipped into a podcast. So leave your boys a 5-star rating and review wherever you listen to the podcast. And make sure you subscribe to No Dunks, guys. Hit that like button. Really appreciate it. Have a great Sunday. Enjoy the race. Enjoy the 4 basketball games. And enjoy your otherwise, hopefully, beautiful, sunny Sunday. Take care, guys. Peace.
You could stay